In this video, we're looking at how to use a compound interest table. It is used to efficiently calculate the future value of a compound interest investment, given the number of time periods and the interest rate period. It is important to remember to adjust the time period depending on the circumstances given in the question. We went through this in an earlier video. You may need to adjust it if it's being compounded every 6 months or even monthly, so make sure you do that before you look up the interest rate. There are a couple of steps that we need to go through when using the interest table, the compound interest table. The first thing you'll need to do is find the time period. So for example, if I'm looking at the time period of 10, I will find that first. I'm then going to move across this particular row to the correct interest rate. So for example, if my question said the time period was 10 and the interest rate was 7, then I'm just going to move across to that amount there. We're then going to find the rate of return, and for this particular situation it's 1.97. We're now going to divide the principal or the future amount or the amount that we need in the end by this particular rate. We're going to go through an example now. It says Taryn needs to have $5,000 in 6 years' time. She can invest money at 4% per annum compounded annually. What amount needs to be invested now? So Taryn wants $5,000 in 6 years. So we want to know how much she needs to put into this investment to begin with to be able to get $5,000 in 6 years. The first thing I want to look at is the time period. It says 6 years' time, my interest rate is per annum, so per year, and it's also compounded annually. So my time period is just going to be 6. So I'm going to find that first on my table, which is just here. We're then going to look at our percentage rate, and it's just at 4%. So I'm just going to move across my table, and it's in this first column here. And in this particular table, they rounded up to 2 decimal places. So for this particular time period and interest rate, the rate is 1.27. So if you remember, what we're going to do is divide our future amount, so what we want is $5,000 in 6 years' time, by this rate that we've just looked up. So the amount that we need to invest is going to be calculated by saying $5,000, because that's what we want in the future, divided by 1.27. And if you calculate that, we should get $3,952.57. So for Taryn to get $5,000 in 6 years, she will need to initially put in $3,952.57 to be able to get that in 6 years at a rate of 4%. So just to go back, the first thing you will need to do is find the time period and make sure that it's adjusted accurately to the question. You're then going to move across and find, depending on what the percentage rate is here, and then you're going to find this rate, and then you're going to divide it, and that's going to be your answer. So again, please remember to make sure you adjust the time period accordingly.